It's wheels up for another summer travel season.
We're going to New York Fleet Week.
And millions are expected to pass through airports nationwide.
Oh my gosh, is it going to be longer wait times? Am I going to be able to get here as late as I usually do to push it?
But this year, there's some new turbulence. 6 major airlines, along with the lobbying group Airlines for America, are now suing the federal government over its latest junk fee rule. It would require airlines to disclose all fees up front.
I think that's pretty reasonable. I think it's common sense.
I talked one-on-one with Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg about the lawsuit.
We are going to defend this rule. We think it's the right thing to do.
Airlines for America tells me carriers already show those fees before a customer buys their ticket. In a statement, the organization said the rule will, quote, greatly confuse consumers who will be inundated with information that will only serve to complicate the buying process. A spokesperson also added that airlines advertise fee discounts and benefits with loyalty programs. But Secretary Buttigieg believes this rule is necessary.
And I would argue that if an airline's not even telling you what some of the fees, charges, and costs are before you buy a ticket, that's unfair and deceptive.
Back at the airport, travelers had mixed reviews about this effort.
I feel like they're running a business, so I say let them run their business.
We should be able to understand what you're charging me, and I shouldn't have to find out later when I get a bill.
Another new rule will require airlines to provide automatic cash refunds if there's a cancellation or significant flight delay. At Reagan National Airport, Kirstin Garriss, Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Well, Susan, transportation officials tell me roughly 40,000 flights a day arrive safely because of air traffic controllers. They warn if the government shuts down, we should all expect some major disruptions. While you may not always see them, air traffic controllers are a vital part of your flight. They guide pilots during takeoff and landing. But if the federal government runs out of money on January 19th, their jobs would be in a holding pattern.
The idea that you would expect them to go do that stressful, demanding job, to sit in those towers and in those centers, not getting paid with that added stress is unacceptable.
There's also a shortage of these workers. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg wants to hire 1,800 new controllers this year. He warns the shutdown would ground those efforts.
We need to be doing more, not less, with hiring controllers, with training them, and with the technology and equipment that they need to do their job.
Airlines are raising concerns too. Airlines for America, which represents the major carriers, sent a letter to federal transportation officials about staffing challenges during the holidays. Its president wants, quote, all possible steps to be taken to avert additional staffing triggers, particularly in high-volume centers. Back in December, aviation officials told us safety is a priority.
We will make sure that safety is always above efficiency. So if there is a shortage of air traffic controllers, we would reduce traffic to accommodate and make sure that everyone is traveling safely.
Air traffic controllers often work long hours, leading to fatigue for many workers, too. Recently, the FAA launched a new board to try to come up with some solutions. Live at Reagan National Airport, Kirstin Garriss, Channel 11 News. This week, some senators say they're planning to hold hearings that would investigate the root causes of safety lapses at Boeing after this most recent incident. And, of course, this isn't the first time that the Boeing MAX program has faced scrutiny. With all that said, has the administration considered expanding its quality control inspections for other Boeing planes? And if so, what could that scope look like?
Number one priority.
Is the administration satisfied with what Boeing has done so far?
Look, there's investigation. We're going to let the investigation move forward. Obviously, FAA is on top of this.
An urgent call just moments before takeoff.
2134, cancel takeoff clearance. Zero Alpha, go around.
Projecting the takeoff, 2134.
This is audio of an air traffic controller canceling the takeoff for an American Airlines flight on May 29th at Reagan National Airport near D.C. The Federal Aviation Administration says another plane was already cleared for landing in an intersecting runway.
Zero Alpha cannot go around. We were already on the ground.
Now the National Transportation Safety Board and the FAA are investigating that close call. And it comes as federal data shows nearly 700 runway incidents so far this year.
It's unfortunate that it happens. Near misses are better than crashes.
The FAA says the most serious runway incidents are becoming less common. The agency reports those numbers have decreased by 66% during the first 4 months of this year compared to the same time frame last year. But Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg tells me that isn't enough.
I'm not going to be satisfied until we press them to new historic lows, and a lot of work is going into that, led by the team at the FAA.
The FAA says it is holding regular runway safety action meetings and using simulators to help air traffic controllers be more prepared. Back at the airport, most travelers say these incidents won't affect their travel plans.
I mean, ultimately, most people are more likely to be in a car accident than they are to be in a plane crash.
The FAA tells me it is also using new technology that provides audio and visual alerts for air traffic controllers when an airplane is heading toward the wrong runway or even the wrong airport. At Reagan National Airport, Kirstin Garriss, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Portland was about 500. Sometimes it's been 700 in the past.
What would you do to shave off $200 or more from a flight? Some travelers are trying skip lagging. For example, if I want to go from D.C. to Chicago, instead of buying a pricey direct ticket, I could opt for a less expensive ticket to Houston with a connection in Chicago. Then hop off during the layover in Chicago, which was my desired final destination all along.
It's not illegal, but it's unapproved.
Kathleen Bangs is a former airline pilot and a spokesperson for FlightAware. She says when you buy a flight, you agree to what's known as the contract of carriage.
Under contract of carriage, you're saying you're going to fly on those legs. You're not going to get off in an intermediary stop. Because if they knew that in advance, then, of course, they could sell those tickets.
You can also face some serious consequences from airlines for skip lagging.
They can ban you from flying on their carrier. They can, let's say, for example, you have a frequent flyer account with them. They could purge all of those miles.
I reached out to these major airlines for a comment. Delta and United Airlines responded and directed me to their contracts of carriage. In a statement, American Airlines said, quote, it can lead to operational issues with checked bags and prevent other customers from booking a seat when they may have an urgent need to travel. Back at the airport, travelers had mixed reviews about skip lagging. This is something you would ever try?
No. I just want to get my plane ticket and go straight to where I have to go. Well, there's always going to be loopholes, and I'm going to try to find them.
In Washington, Kirstin Garriss, News Center 7.